And now for our cute little piggy. I've got a white 5-inch round blown up to maybe an inch, trimmed it off really close, obviously for the eyes. I've got a fuchsia 160 that I've blown up, leaving just a couple inches uninflated on the end. We're not even going to use quite all that. And I've spiraled it because pigs have spirally tails. I'll let you figure out how to do that one. I've got a caramel 260. I've blown up about 8 or 10 inches of it. We're not going to quite use all of that. I've got a fuchsia 260 with about 5 inches uninflated on the end. And then I've got a fuchsia 360 with about 6 or 7 inches inflated on the end of it. Now we're going to start with our fuchsia 360. We're going to start with making a deep tulip twist. So take and put your finger in the knot, push it all the way in, and then reach through and grab it from the outside. Twist it off, and then we're going to make a pair of faux twists, each about 3 fingers wide when they're folded. First cheeks. Make sure in that first one that you grab that knot from the tulip twist. There's our second one. So there's his cheeks and his snout. Now for the top of his head, we're going to make a small bear head. So make a bubble about 4 fingers wide, followed by a pinch twist, followed by about a 3-finger bubble, slightly smaller, another pinch twist, and then another 4-finger bubble to complete his head, and that's going to come back down into obviously the bottom of his head there. So we're going to twist that in. And you can see our pig's head starting to take shape. Now we're going to go back about 5 or 6 inches, depending on how long you want his body. Make a pinch twist, and then I'm going to split that pinch twist, and then remove this excess. We don't need it. Using my handy dandy snippet. That one was a little bit tight, like popped. There we go. So there's our pig's basic body. Now we're going to set that aside. We're going to make his hooves first before we make his legs. So I'm going to take the caramel 260. Frequently I use black for his hooves, but against this black backdrop it doesn't show up as good. So I'm going to make 4 fold twists. They're about 2 fingers wide when folded. And just bring them all together like a little brown flower. Once you get that twisted around and locked in good, pop off this excess. We don't need it. And that's going to be his hooves in a minute. Just set that aside, and then we're going to grab our fuchsia 260. It doesn't matter which end you start. You can start at the front or the back. I'm going to start at the back. Twist it in, and make about a little wider than your hand, about a 4.5 to 5-inch bubble. And then take the hooves and twist them in at that point. Then we get another bubble the same size. And now we're going to come up to the opposite end. If you start at the front, you're going to the back, or I start at the back, so I'm going to the front. His legs, there's 2. Now we just need 2 more, so you're going to come back down again and back up, just like you did before. Twist them in. Come up to the other end, lock it in, and we're just going to remove the excess. Now you can see our piggy is starting to take shape, looking very pig-like, if that's a word. Now I'm going to take my 160, and the reason I extended it past the spiral is because I'm going to use part of that to finish his face. So I'm going to go back and pull off about 6 or 7 inches of it. Tie that off. Set that aside. I'm going to take this, tie it off. This is going to be his tail, and obviously we'll twist that in on the back side. Those piggies have that little curly, spirally tail that really gives them a lot of character. Now we're going to take the remaining part of our 160. I'm going to put a little pinch twist on the end of it. Then I'm going to take my white 5-inch round, divide it into 2 equal bubbles for his eyes, and then twist that, or those, onto that pinch twist, just like that. You have eyes on a stick. And then you can see about how far it is from that opening to the bottom. You want a bubble about that long out of the 160 there. Once you've got that, then we're going to take and I'm going to come in the back of his head, and where I'm holding where I twisted it, I'm going to twist it into the back of his head there. Around. And lock that in place so that I come back out the front. And then I'm going to make this bottom jaw, so I'm going to make a fold twist that's almost as long as that tulip. That's his nose, not quite. Push that up in there. I'm going to let the air out of this. There we go. So I can twist it in a little better. And you can see how that gives him a nice little bottom jaw that can treat that part of his face. Then you come back where his eyes, and we're going to take his two eyes and just poke his eyes through that little hole in the middle of the bear head, or the middle of his head actually. So just the eyes poke through like that. And there, your cute little piggy.